Cappy. Welcome to Rockaritaville. I'm El Rock, your hostess, and we are here to do your general timeless energy reading for the week ahead for the sun, moon, and rising sign of Capricorn. As always, this is a general reading, so if the story that I pull out today doesn't fit you, maybe check out your moon and rising sign on the channel because there might be something there for you. And then finally, I just want to say thank you to my new subscribers, my returning subscribers, and all of you popping into the channel to just check it out. Thank you so much for being here. Your comments, your likes, all of it helps the channel grow. So thank you. So without further ado, let's find out what the overarching or most prevailing energy is in the week ahead for Capricorn. Now, Cappy, these are not love readings. These are just general energy readings where we're taking a look at your most influential energy for the week ahead, and we're pulling out clarifying cards with Patch Tarot to find out more about that. Wow. Okay, so I feel pretty sure this was your overarching energy last week. Yarrow, pocket of protection, Capricorn. So you are in a protected state right now, whatever that is. I want to dig a little bit deeper and see what we can find out here. Pocket of protection, Yarrow. Tell me more about the energies influencing Capricorn's week ahead, please. You're in a bubble, Capricorn. I'm looking at the card here with the bubble around the yarrow plant. Let's find out more about the influential energies for Capricorn in the week ahead, please. The cards are tight tonight. Most influential energy for Capricorn for the week ahead, please. Oh, yep, something did fall out. Ah, there we go. Oh, a lot of somethings fell out. Okay. So it looks like we have what we need, Cappy. Let's see what the bottom of the deck is. Oh, House Finch. That came out for Sing Your Song. That came out for Aquarius, I think, recently. So you might be dealing with an Aquarius or have Aquarius in your chart. The House Finch is all about kind of singing your soul song. And do you see that, how that rock is tied to his little leg? It's about finding that freedom and being able to be who you are, Capricorn. So that's really, really beautiful. So, oh, I knew this was going to come out for you, Capricorn. I was thinking about your reading today, and I've got another one to do after you, and I kept seeing this card. White-tailed deer. Pause, assess, and then act. So, Cappy, in influential energy in the week ahead. Let's take a look at what else you have here. You have so you are sacred. I feel like this might be an outside influence. Clear the way, white sage, California poppy, resurrection, and then nuthatch, change your perspective. Interesting. Let's put the birds here together. All right. So what do we have going on here? So pause, assess, act, clear the way. Let's talk about these first. Okay. White-tailed deer is really here. So the energy I was getting from Capricorn today was really about you not being hasty in decisions that you're making, whatever those are. That being mindful about that is going to serve you well. Capricorn, if you don't have to say yes and you don't have to say no, then don't say anything, because that is part of how you're being protected, is that you're being called into this mindfulness. Now, the result of pausing to us before you act on things is that it allows you to decide if you want to act, right? And I want to give you an example because it's the example that I'm being guided to give. So, in terms of clearing the way and pause, assess, and act, I want to say it was God, like 4 or 5 years ago. I was going through a massive upgrade in my life, spiritually and personally. And there was a friendship that was a very dear to my heart, close friendship that ended up, dissolving itself for various reasons, for things that I did and things that the other person did, and whatever. I mean, the reasons don't really matter. What mattered is that the end result was that the friendship was called. And I really went through a period of thinking about, do I want to try to save this friendship? And really spent quite a lot of time, several weeks on it. And I really kind of came to the conclusion, Capricorn, that where I was at in my life and where I was going and the nature of the friendship was an old version of myself. And for as painful as it was, by spending that 2 weeks and pausing and assessing before I took action on doing what I would have normally done, which was done everything I could to salvage the friendship because I felt obligated. What I did, Capricorn, was I checked into my energy and who I was becoming before I moved. And what that did is that allowed me to understand that I was actually clearing space for the friendships that I truly wanted to bring into my life, for the time that I wanted to put elsewhere, that I was actually putting into a friendship that didn't work for me. So, Cappy, whatever it is that's happening, whatever it is you're deciding on, now that's just an example. You could be deciding on a job, you could be deciding on, a new big purchase, maybe furniture or something like that, right? Like whatever it is you're pausing, you're going to want to clear the space before you act on the new coming in. And you're protected during this time, Cappy, to be able to do that. So I'm hearing the song Time is on Your Side. Who is that? Is that Rolling Stones? Time is on my side. And I'm a terrible singer, but there it is. Go Google it because you probably can't tell what it actually was. Um, so now with that, we have nuthatch. Now nuthatch speaks to changing your perspective, your perspective, or your perception, or your point of view. Now, the medicine that nuthatch brings in is the fact that it has an extra toe. Now, nuthatch's extra toe, what it does is it allows it to go up and down a tree in the inverted position. And what nuthatch does is it stores food in bark and little places inside the tree that other birds can't see, because they can't walk down the tree in an inverted fashion to be able to find what nuthatch has stored. So whatever this is, you're being asked to really, take a new perspective, really dig into a new point of view for yourself, Capricorn, for whatever that means. Again, the more points of view that you can take and the more you can stretch your mind to be open, the more solutions come in for you, right? You can't solve a problem at the level of the problem. You have to get out of the problem to have an expansion on a new point of view, to be able to allow those solutions to come in, to be able to harness that energy of a new point of view. And then you also have Tulsi and California poppy here. And Tulsi talks about you are sacred. And normally what this is this is the sacred or the divine in you. But Cappy, maybe this is also how, for some of you, how somebody feels about you or how you feel about somebody else. That there is something sacred and higher that you're working towards, or that somebody feels that way about you. And the reason that I say that is because the resurrection card is here with the California poppy, and that this owl is coming in with with the wisdom of the cycles. You can see the cycle there with the moon around the the side of owl's face, and this is also part of your pause, assess, and act. So if there's a sacred friendship, a sacred relationship, a sacred job, some kind of sacred something that somebody feels towards you or that you feel towards somebody, or I'm thinking it's mutual, you're still wanting to be mindful about that, Capricorn. Your guidance is to not move quickly right now. That it's to really take your time and, cross your T's and dot your I's. Something is coming back for you. It's very, very special. It's deep. It is divinely orchestrated. Um, but maybe first you need to gain your freedom. Maybe you need to know what your song is and what it is you truly want to fly for, before you dig into what a resurrection might look like for you, Capricorn. And then, yeah, I don't. So, the story in the book about the house finch is that, I don't know, back in the mid 1900s, maybe 1950s, house finch was brought indoors as a domesticated animal because of its song, because it sang a beautiful song. And then parakeets and more colorful birds began to come on the market, and this bird was set free because a more desirable, more attractive bird came along. So, whatever that story means for you with the attractive bird and the freedom, but that's kind of the story there in the book. So, let's take a look at some clarifying cards here. So, you're making space, you're not making hasty decisions. You're in a period of protection. Because you're protected to take time with your decision-making paradigms. The reason that you're being asked to take time is because because Nuthatch is here asking you to change your perspective, Capricorn. So can we get some clarification on Yarrow? Why is pocket of protection here? What's Capricorn being protected from? What is Capricorn being protected from? 2 cards, please. Cappy, what are you being? There you go. Ooh, that's a boatload of cards. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got conflict, the 5 of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. I feel compelled more than ever, Capricorn, and this is always a message with this card, but I feel it deeply with this one. You're focused here on a conflict, Cap, and it's swords down and you're not putting up with any bullshit anymore. But there's also a tsunami and a big ass storm right behind you. So be mindful that this energy lives behind you. I don't know if it's past energy or if it's energy that's sneaking up on you. But be mindful that there is conflict energy in your future, or that it lives in your field of potential. Now that you know that it lives there, when the energy of conflict arrives, you can be mindful of it if you choose to be. But that energy is very prevalent. So let's see what we have here. So we had the Four of Wands, which is success. And that kind of fell over, just clear the way and change your perspective because that's where it landed. I'm going to leave it. Now, the four cards that fell out when I was asking about protection. So, what are you being protected from? So, it looks like with this Ace of Discs in reverse, there's some kind of a disillusion or some kind of something's being dissolved. Um, Normally, in the upright position, if you don't want it dissolved, if this is something that you want to keep, however, I think that this is part of your protection is that you're looking for a resolution or a dissolving of this. And I think it's because whatever it is, that there's just really kind of bad vibes around that. So let's look at what we have here. We have the Nine of Wands in reverse, which is sloth. We have normally the celebration card, which is the Three of Cups, also in reverse, which is gluttony. And then we've got the Five of Pentacles in reverse, which in upright, it's already worry. But now it's talking about disaster. So what you're being protected from is something that is in a disillusion, is in a state of disillusion because of its sloth, gluttony, and the overall unhappiness that it's brought you. And the unhappiness that it may have brought you, we're talking about emotional with the cups and the water here. We're talking about financial here with the pentacles. And then with the wands, we're talking about that fire and that passion energy. So, Cappy, whatever this is that you're being protected from, do know that the influencing energy is present. The presence of conflict is still here, and you are protected when you're mindful to stay in the energy of protection. That means focusing on yourself and not what other people are doing or what you think they should be doing, or their focus on you for that matter. So, can we get more around white-tailed deer? Pause, assess, act. What guidance does white-tailed deer have? Okay, so the Eight of Discs. This is negligence. So I would say don't pause too long, because if you end up in this Eight of Discs where you've nurtured this garden, perhaps it's this something sacred, this resurrection that's trying to happen on your pause, assess, and act, that not working on it allows it to fall into a potential state of disrepair. So also with the Eight of Discs, interesting. I actually want more cards with that. Tell me more about negligence with pause, assess, and act with the Eight of Discs, please. Just trying to see if the art has anything to say. Does the art have something to say to you? Clarify Eight of Discs, please. Uh-oh. Oh, interesting. Okay. So Six of Wands is a victory card. It's moving in. So your pause, I get the sense that it's not necessarily an actual negligence, because when I was trying to really fill into the art, I felt the sun here, right? The warmth of the sun. And I don't know that it's negligence so much as it is quietness, because when you pause, which is what this is doing, right? You pull out the victory. You pull out the Six of Wands. You when you act in accord with your intuition and your instinct because you weren't hasty about it. So while this card indicates a state of negligence, I don't think it is. It almost feels more like almost like a Four of Swords, a respite a little bit. And yet because you're in the garden, you're still focused on what you're growing. You're just not actively doing anything with it. See how the tools are down there? You're good, right? You're closing your eyes and you're pausing before you move forward towards your victory cap. So, intriguing. What does Capricorn have going on? Do you have a new job coming maybe? Or can we get a little bit more about clear the way? We already have the Four of Wands, which is success. So if you'll remember, that's the card when I was shuffling, it fell out. Four of Wands in traditional tarot is kind of it's a relationship marriage card. Now with this, if this is relationship and marriage, it implies future success. And I really get the energy off of like people cheering you on here, Capricorn, a group of people. So this could really be something in your workplace because, again, whatever it is that you're working for, you have support. You have that community. Like ultimately, you ride it. You're on the horse alone, right? You're taking the journey by yourself, and yet you have a tremendous amount of group energy support behind you. So tell me more about White Sage and clearing the way. What is Cappy clearing the way for? The Queen of Swords, perceptive. So the Queen is oftentimes the energy of a person, and the energy that person would embody would be something really straightforward, kind of gets to the point, doesn't really beat around the bush. You can see here that she's looking down on the tree of life, and there's some storms here kind of brewing, and yet there's sun behind her. She can maintain a neutral state, but she's just pretty straightforward. And that could very well be you, Capricorn, maybe with what it is that you are working with, that you're protected with this sort of what I'm going to refer to as chaos energy up here with all of these, with, Three of Cups in reverse, Five of Discs in reverse, Nine of Wands, and Ace in reverse. That's chaos energy. And this could potentially have to do with a third party situation here if this is romance. So, this is the energy that when you do act, you want to embody that clear cut communication. It's not emotional, it's logical, it's fact based, Cappy. So this could be the energy that you are being invited to embody, that helps to clear the way for this success that you have coming. Anything else for White Sage? One more. The Prince of Wands, visionary. Yes, Capricorn, hold a vision for what it is you want. Take baby steps toward it, and don't be hasty about it. Now, you can see here that this is a lot of fire energy, and perhaps you want to move forward quickly because you have this vision. This is a lot of heat, a lot of passion, a lot of desire. So again, if this is romantic, it's compelling. So clearing the way for a visionary state. Again, we've got perceptive, we have visioning here. We have the victory, and then what was one? Oh, yes, change your perspective. So you're really being asked to embody a new point of view here. And that may be an actual shift for you, a shift in your way of thinking and how you look at the world, Capricorn. Because this is a lot of energy around you changing a point of view or a stand. How you take a stand on something. Do you take a reverse stance? Do you take an upright stance? Are you looking down on it? Are you looking back? Is it stormy? There's a lot of ways that you can look at something, and that's only from your point of view. If you get, other people's points of view, now be careful about taking people's advice, because nobody ever knows better than you the energy of a situation, and yet they might have really great ideas or a seed of an idea that you want to implement that isn't the entire idea. You just take what you want, Cappy, and make it your own and leave the rest behind. Nuthatch, what messages do you have for Nuthatch, or clarifying? What are you changing your perspective on? You're changing your perspective on temperance, on resurrection, on an evolution. So there's something in which you want to balance and that you want to evolve in, Capricorn, and you're being asked to change your perspective on it, take a new point of view, a point of view that you've never had before. Balancing, the fire energy with the emotional energy. And I see this hawk coming in. I don't know if it's actually a hawk, but there again, I get a sense of perhaps wanting to move quickly, and that isn't really the guidance that you're receiving. You're receiving the guidance to vision it and to be mindful about your choices so that you can have a victory. Okay. Give us some clarification, please, on Tulsi and California poppy. Wow, so the sun and the moon. Interesting, very interesting. So we're going to say, so the moon card is a journey through your inner landscape. Again, the theme of this reading here is all about perspective, perception, and really calling you, because the light of the moon is not the same kind of illumination as the sun, Capricorn. It's a full moon tonight. It's the full moon in Scorpio right now, as we speak. So you can see that it's a place of introspection, but the light of the moon is so much dimmer. And in that dim light, things, get shadowy and shapes look different, and something that, looks like a scary monster might actually be, a bunny rabbit hiding behind a bush. And you're really, this guidance is all about this path that you are walking into illumination. And whatever it is that's being resurrected, you've got the moon energy here twice with this owl and this wisdom. So you are being called into, I think you're going to probably be doing a lot of internal work this week. Again, the energy that I get off of this 8 of discs is really more like a 4 of swords, which is a respite. It's a minor version of the hermit card. And whatever this Tulsi is, or this sacred thing that somebody feels towards you, if this is how somebody feels towards you, they see you as the sun, Capricorn. This is the happiest card in the tarot. It's illumination, it's fulfillment, it's all of that. And so whatever this is, and if this is how you feel towards somebody, if there's somebody that is sacred in your world, you feel the sun energy towards them. You feel that renewal and that rebirth, that resurrection. So that's really beautiful. But definitely in the week ahead, Cap, you're going to be taking a journey into your inner spaces, maybe a little bit of your dark spaces with this conflict energy that's here. And then finally at the bottom of the deck, we have speak. So, you can close out your week and start your next cycle of the following week here with the truth. And you'll be able to speak your truth. But right now you're being asked to pause for a minute. And we're getting close to being out of time. So let me ask really quickly this is the Trust Your Vibes deck. So what vibes is Capricorn being asked to trust in the week ahead, please? What vibes is Cappy being guided to trust in the week ahead? There's one. Trust your vibes, Cappy. What vibes are you being guided to trust in the week ahead? All right, you're influencing vibe energy. Call on your runners. Your runners are close to the earth invisibles who have your back. Parking spaces, contracts. It's a team effort. So your invisibles are here. Also, we saw the team, this could very well be work related. We saw the team here with the victory. We saw the team here with success with the Four of Wands. So, everybody is plugged in. Everybody has an energy to bring to the situation, whatever this is. Listen to your body talk. Your body will give you messages, and exercise your vibes. So to clear this conflict energy, maybe go for a walk, maybe go for a run, maybe just go lift some weights, or I don't know, do some Zumba, something like that. Clear that energy out of your body, out of your temple, and that way any messages that are coming through that are guidance on how it is you want to move forward in your week with how you're going to act, listen to those. Your body's telling you messages like your yes no message is your yes no's to your questions might feel something like, if it's a yes, a warmth or a fluttering in your heart, or maybe butterflies in your tummy. And if it's a no, maybe you feel a pain in your neck or tension in your shoulder, or you get a knot in your stomach. Your body talks to you. And so as you move throughout your week, dig into your body as a compass. And then just remember to be mindful. So you have actually a really exciting week ahead. You've got great things. You've got the sun, and you are still being called into a state of higher consciousness and upgrades for yourself, whatever those look like, and you are protected through the process. Go with love, my friend. Thanks for stopping in, Capricorn. See you next time.